Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including but not limited to swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children.
Did I tell you what this one was going to be?
It's a good book. That's all I know.
Okay. Well,
Was that a lie?
no, it's a good book.
Okay.
I mean, kind of. I told Lily about it, and she disagrees, but
I mean, your definition of good book is kind of strange.
yeah, I guess that's fair. It's definitely in the wheelhouse.
Like, your first ever good book for this podcast was that horrific one that had Joaquin Phoenix in the movie.
Oh, right.
You were never really...
Yeah, you were never really here.
Here, yes.
Yeah, this is definitely in that wheelhouse
Oh
again.
my god. Are we recording? Is this the beginning of the
recording
episode?
already,
Oh my
but-
god.
we can't let that be like a cold open or something.
Cold open this time. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Bibliotomy.
Yeah.
The podcast where we do good books, ?
Depending on your definition, as I've been told, I have a broken definition of good.
Which our scale for bad has been shifted. The Overton window has shifted hard downhill when it comes to bad books.
Yeah.
Which means good books have a much broader range.
Yeah, but the good books that I've picked so far, at least some of them anyway, I thought were good before we started this podcast. So
That is true.
and this is one of those.
Oh, okay.
So I brought this one up on the podcast before. I think our third Bibliotomy. I think it's posted as
You're
the first
expecting
one.
me to remember something before this morning.
It was during the White Fang episode.
Okay. Okay. I might know where we're going then.
Today we're doing To Build a Fire by Jack London.
Yes, I remember you talking about that.
So I mentioned
Wait,
this one.
so two bibliotomies are Jack London.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm going to have to pull out some Jules Verne.
So this one is a very, very short story.
Oh, okay.
It is 16 pages.
Wow. And blah, blah, blah. Episode's over.
Yeah,
No, we will make this a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to stretch the... I've worked pretty hard to make this one stretch a little bit.
If you get me talking, I can make it last all day long.
In spite of it being so short, this story has stuck with me since I read it a couple of years ago. And as we've established, I have a penchant for stories about lone, suffering men.
Dark, hard men having dark, hard lives. Who wish they were dead and then they die.
This story is probably the most extreme version of that.
Oh my god!
We're stripping out all of the ego of like hero stories. We're not suffering for some grand purpose or whatever. We're not following a lone gunman who's wise beyond his years. We're basically following a man on his commute to work
Oh, wow.
and him accepting death.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so, my dear listeners, I will bring us a bibliotomy that is sunshine and rainbows and puppies next
It'll have to be. I keep picking up these ones.
Because, like, I picked, Wicked, and that was really complex emotionally and had really dark themes. And then you pick, guy murders everyone.
Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday, and I keep wondering why I picked these ones. And I think as a man, I'm not the most in tune with my emotions. And when I find something that is very emotionally affecting, it sticks with me. I may not understand what emotions are being stirred, but I understand they're strong and I'm feeling something.
That's like some of my favorite movies made me cry desperately.
Yeah.
And my husband is like, why do you like this? It made you cry. And I'm like, because it made me cry. Because it reached into my soul and changed me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I absolutely understand that. It's just really funny how your themes are just dark, hard men. Which, I mean, wicked, dark, hard woman, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's kind of a similar theme.
Yeah.
So, this part's going to make you mad a little bit. We follow the man. So, again, as I picked out before, we're following a character that does not have a goddamn name. I don't know why I'm compelled by characters that aren't given names.
I hope we have no psychologist listeners.
Yeah, I'm sure that says something about me. I don't know what it could be. I kind of wonder if it's like kind of the masculine version of like a Bella character. Mm-hmm. Like instead of like bland, boring white girl that you can just like slip into the shoes of.
Yeah.
Men get like a literal nameless body.
Right.
And to be fair, if a male character had no personality, it would basically look the same as just being like a stoic character. So,
Yeah.
the man is traveling on foot with a dog up one of the creeks of the Yukon River because Jack London, he loves writing stories about traveling in the Yukon.
Right.
And he's going to a lumber camp where the boys
Which, okay, I will say, now, so that kind of thing has been overdone. But at his time, it was probably really effective storytelling because it's kind of in a parable format.
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, where it's similar to parable format, we are saying this man is doing this thing. And your mind just fulfills what that man is, you know? So yeah, that's fine.
And you can fill it in with yourself or some idiot you know or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the boys are waiting for him. I think it's a lumber camp.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm pretty sure is what it is, but he's just going up there to meet with functionally his coworkers, his partners in business or whatever.
Right.
The scenery is described as the sky being clear, yet no sun, just eerie light filling the days this far north. Mm-hmm. Nothing to break up the monotony of white. Quote, but all this, the distant trail, no sun in the sky, the great cold, and the strangeness of it all, had no effect on the man. It was not because he was long familiar with it. He was a newcomer in the land, and this was his first winter. So we're kind of setting up, this isn't like a character that just has like a lot of experience here. He's not like super wise. Kind of just setting up this character as one that's overconfident a little bit. He's young, he's overconfident.
And he's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all he has to do is travel from this little community called Sulphur Creek to the camp on Henderson Creek where the boys are.
Okay.
An easy single day of travel. Mm-hmm. Theoretically.
Oh.
And he should be there before dark, he thinks.
Okay.
It's currently -50.
Oh my God.
And dropping. By the end of the story, we're -70.
Oh my God.
Good thing hubris keeps you warm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the audacity of man is what keeps him going.
Yeah. We're going to get into the audacity of men, actually.
Boy.
We are told several times throughout the story that the man is not much of a thinker. So every now and then it's like the narration is just telling us, and then the man made a terrible decision that spelled his doom because he's a stupid, overconfident moron.
Huh.
And even that is kind of neat. I feel like London wrote this to play off of that masculine hubris, the just illogical confidence that I, as a man, can walk on the street at night safely or hike into -degree weather alone with no fear of death.
Yeah. He probably saw that a lot.
Yeah, he probably experienced it himself. I imagine in London's early career, he would have had a similar overconfidence that would have been undercut when he nearly died working in the Yukon.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember where it was like a gold mining operation or he was similarly working in a lumber camp. But he almost died of scurvy because there was just so little nutritious food there.
Right.
So he nearly died.
Oh.
And that was probably kind of a rude awakening, and I'm imagining he's pulling from that experience for this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're leaning into that with this story, and this is from the narrator about the man. Quote, "The trouble with him was that he was not able to imagine. He was quick and ready in the things of life, but only in the things and not in their meanings. 50 degrees below zero meant 80 degrees of frost. Such facts told him that it was cold and uncomfortable, and that was all. It did not lead him to consider his weakness as a creature affected by temperature."
Oh. My kid's on a 20-degree day who goes out in tank top and shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote, 50 degrees below zero was to him nothing more than 50 degrees below zero. That it should be more important than that was a thought that never entered his head. So now that we're setting up how cold it is, what's the coldest you've ever been?
Like physically or like the weather outside?
I don't know, both.
Okay. I was actually telling my daughter the story. I lived in Nebraska for a little while, like 6 or 7 months. I worked at McDonald's in the drive-thru. It got down into the negatives, even during the day. And I worked as the dishwasher / cashier for the first drive-thru. So you would get covered in hot sudsy water, get a ding, go to the window and take money and get frozen. Like my clothes would get stiff, reaching out and dealing with customers. And then I would have to go back to the hot water. And I got so sick, I had pneumonia. So, and it was really cold. The heat in my car didn't work. And so it never like warmed up. And that was a miserable winter.
Yeah.
And then, it's gotten colder here. Like, I don't remember it getting into the negatives when I was a kid in the 90s here in Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
And now it feels like we get a lot hotter in the summer and a lot colder in the winter
Yeah, we're
than we
getting
used
more
to.
extreme.
We used to be more moderate
Yeah.
in my memory. So, usually the house is like not too bad, but we don't really deal with negative temperatures except when I lived out.
Yeah. Usually if we deal with negatives, it's for like a day or two and it breaks.
It's a snap.
Yeah.
Usually, the polar vortex is coming down and attacking us.
Right.
Out west, the wind was just unbearable. The wind would suck all of the warmth out of your house.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really cold. Like, here, the wind is windy, but it's not a blast and a wall that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Out there, the wind just doesn't stop. So it's kind of different.
Yeah. For me, similar thing with your window experience. I was working a job in Maryland for a construction company, and they worked on mining fans. And it was fans that were pulling air out of the mines so that it would be circulating clean air through so the workers could breathe. And the air that was coming out was moist.
Oh.
And we were working on that Avase because we were working on a silencer so that it wasn't so fucking loud coming out.
Right.
And we'd have to walk in front of that moist, hot blast of air.
Oh, God.
And it wasn't really hot. It was like
it was just
moderately warm, but wet.
Yeah.
And it was in December on top of a mountain in Maryland.
Ooh.
And I think it was like negative 15 for like the whole week we were working there.
Which, if you're dry and dressed appropriately, you can handle not too bad.
I, however, was not prepared, and I was wearing jeans and a jacket and getting wet.
Oh my. And you're here to tell us the story.
Yeah, I mean, I
Wow.
was...
The hubris of man.
Yeah. Very similar to our main character at 25 or so. Very, very overconfident in my ability to handle the cold. And, was very, very uncomfortable and very cold.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
wow.
I'm pretty sure that was the coldest I've ever been.
Right.
So to get a sense of how cold it is in this story at negative 50 and how overconfident the man is, we get a scene where, as he's leaving Sulphur Creek, he starts playing with the temperature by spitting, and before his spit hits the ground, it freezes and plinks off the ice on the ground.
So he's just playing games with it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
We're going to lick a light pole next.
So, man sets off. As the story is told, we flash back to an old man that he met in Sulphur Creek who warned him that he shouldn't be going off in negative 50-degree weather alone, which, of course, the man just shrugs off. And also, as we go along, we will enter the mind of the dog that is following along with the man and how the dog is reacting to the man.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The dog doesn't really come up like a whole hell of a lot. Like, it's not really about the dog, but the dog is there. Also, as he's traveling, he has a wad of chewing tobacco in his mouth. So, as we're describing all of the frost building up on his face, he's also got like a yellow streak of ice that's like building up on his face that occasionally he just has to like break off.
Oh my God.
And he's also thinking of the things he regrets not having. Like a face guard, like one of his companions.
I was going to say, like, don't people normally, like, I read about, like, the Inuit rubbing grease on their skin. And modern day, you could rub Vaseline or something like that to cover your skin because you'll get wind burn and ice burn kind of if it's windy and at those temperatures. But he doesn't even have, like,
a
he doesn't ski mask type thing or anything.
But he's thinking about the one of the boys has. Quote, such a guard passed across the nose and covered the entire face. But it did not matter much, he decided. What was a little frost? A bit painful, that was all. It was never serious.
You could lose your nose, my good sir.
The man follows a snow-covered sled trail that follows along this creek. At one point, he nearly slips off the snow into the creek.
Oh, God.
And he sidesteps like wildly to avoid falling in. And he remarks to himself the treacherous spots of ice beneath the blanket of snow that's on the ground. Places where ice is thin above the water, and what an inconvenience that would be. He would have to stop and build a fire.
No, you get wet in that situation. You lose fingers and limbs if you don't get help soon.
Maybe potentially.
Yeah.
He does have to deal with this, and it's not immediately life-threatening.
Right.
But we'll get into that as we go. He has several near misses with falling through the ice.
We're just watching this guy just stumble around and slip on banana peels around ice and snow and wet.
At one point, he's unsure of a spot and makes the dog go first. And the dog falls through.
Oh, no.
And like it immediately like jumps out of the water, and like the water is instantly frozen on his fur. So the dog like immediately like lays down and starts like chewing the ice from between his toes.
Yeah. Ow.
And to the man's credit, he also helps the dog out because
good.
Just for the sake of the dog.
Yeah. I might need you to walk through ice again. Come here.
Yeah.
I gotta keep you alive.
Pretty
for
much.
now.
It's very much a working relationship.
It's a working dog. Yeah.
Which London is pretty upfront about. No love, but a master and a slave relationship more than anything.
Yeah.
At moments, we are with the dog, and we get foreshadowing from it.
Oh.
The dog doesn't think in, human terms. It just knows to be anxious about the cold. The dog has the urge to burrow into the snow and wait out this intense cold. They shouldn't be out in the snow.
What the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the man calls, the dog hears the crack of the whip in his voice, so he follows.
I obey, because that's not obeying is worse than dealing with the snow. Yeah.
So the dog, in its way, is wiser than the man, but has no choice but to follow. Much like the reader, the story has its hooks in, and it's compelling you forward, even though this foreboding hangs over your head.
Yeah. He does know how to do atmosphere.
Very atmospheric. You're very much in this place with these characters. I always thought he did a great job with that. The man stops at a fork in the creek to have his lunch. At this point, he's about a third of the way to his camp. his wrapped sandwich is kept against his skin to keep it from freezing solid. So he's just like got it wrapped up in his jacket inside his clothes so he can eat food. But even so, the frost built up on his face prevents him from being able to eat it.
Like his skin is tight, or...
No, like there's a literal shield of ice keeping food from entering his mouth.
Wow.
Because he's got like a beard and like all the
yes.
Yeah, all the steam.
I've never
and stuff
had a beard, so I didn't think about ice in your beard being a problem. That's, yeah.
But it's so bad on this man's face, like it's physically preventing him from eating.
Wow.
Also, his unmittened hand goes numb just holding his sandwich while he's just out.
He doesn't
in this
have
cold.
mittens?
Well, he took his mitten off to eat.
To try to eat, yeah.
And now that he's not moving his feet, the ache has gone away from his feet because they're numb.
That's bad. Oh, no.
So he's forced to build a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, what a inconvenience this is. It's just extra work, and it's just a horrible inconvenience for him.
How dare he have to take steps to keep himself alive.
Mm-hmm. So he builds a fire and is soon warmed. And just as soon he departs the protection of the fire, much to the dog's chagrin, because the dog is just like, no, we should stay
This
here.
is where it's warm here. Why are we leaving? Why are we being stupid?
He travels further down the trail. The story doesn't say it, but I imagine this would just be like past the halfway point of this trip. The exact point, it would be the most dangerous for him to fall through the ice, which is what happens.
Oh, no.
He breaks through the ice into knee-deep water.
Okay, well, that's better than deep water.
Yeah.
That is good.
It could be worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Quote, the blood was alive, like the dog. Like the dog, it wanted to hide and seek cover away from the fearful cold.
Yeah.
So he's immediately, like, all the blood is rushing from his extremities.
Into his core.
Mm-hmm. So now he has to rush and build another fire. Worry hasn't quite set in just yet. Even though,
it's still fine. It's fine.
Even though he can feel parts of his body like actively freezing in seconds.
Oh my God.
Because, like we said, it's getting closer to negative 70 at this point now. So it's even colder than what it was when he was just spitting in the air and it just immediately freezing.
And he's wet.
Oh. He's really only concerned about how much time it's going to take to dry out his moccasins and his clothes, and this is going to keep him from getting to the boys before dark, is where his mind is right now. He's not, like, fully...
realizing the severity of this.
Mm-hmm. Which, potentially, if he gets this fire going...
he'll be okay.
He'll be okay.
Yeah. Because even though he's wet, if he's close enough and warm enough, and he like gets a dog next to him,
and gets his clothes dried out, there's
potential.
It's not immediately desperate.
No. Like
it's
if you felt your whole body, especially if your head got wet, and then you climbed out into negative 70, you would pretty quickly lose consciousness. Yeah. Like without intervention and help and warming up and stuff. But yeah, just your legs. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we love podcasts on this podcast.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it in a very long time. I didn't keep listening after like the first couple of seasons. But Outside Magazine had a podcast called, I think it was Outside, something like that. They had fantastic stories of survival on there. And one of them was like, if you were hiking and you got lost and the stuff you would try to do to like rescue yourself. And they talked to people who would go cliff climbing and like if they survived like these emergencies. One was what would happen if you got struck by lightning, and they go through the physiology of everything that happens and how you would survive it or not survive it. So if you kind of like books like this, Outside Magazine had just first couple seasons, and the one was like getting stung by African bees and like it was just like really, really interesting thought experiments, like and like the science behind surviving it or what would happen to your body. You know, your heart's racing and that causes your blood to go faster and like these things happen and now you're anxious and now you can't think straight and it's really, really interesting.
That's fun. Yeah. It sounds similar to this kind of story.
Like if you're interested in this kind of thing, it was really good.
That reminds me of Lily recently told me about a species of scorpion native to Virginia that has a sting that's no worse than a bee sting. And it's very, very tiny.
Scorpions? Is it on the coast?
No.
Oh, I had no idea.
I didn't either until a couple of days ago.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's
Neat.
very, very tiny, tiny, tiny.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If I can remember it right off the top of my head, I'd say it. Maybe editing me will insert.
Oop.
I'll have Lily right there to tell
Yeah.
me. So. It is the southern unstriped scorpion, or, much cooler, the southern devil scorpion, with the Latin name Vijovis carolinaeus. They're only 2 inches long. They're really funny. So the man is starting this fire. He gets he gets it started. He's gathered up some dry grasses, little sticks to feed it, and larger sticks once it's grown. So we're safe.
Okay.
Our manly prowess has conquered, right?
We are surviving nature.
Yeah.
We're showing it who's boss.
Quote, well, here he was. He had had the accident. He was alone, and he had saved himself. Those old men were rather womanish, he thought. All a man must do was to keep his head, and he was all right. Any man who was a man could travel alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, buddy. You're doing great. We love that for you.
You went pee-pee all by yourself. What a good boy.
In the book's words, what happens next is the man's mistake because he built his fire under an evergreen tree.
Ooh.
Where a branch heavy with snow sits above his fire,
and it's
the rising heat
gonna melt.
causes the snow to collapse on top of him and his fire.
Oh no.
And all his firewood. And by the way, as I said earlier, the temperature is -70 and he doesn't have his clothes on right now.
Oh no.
Now he has to start the entire process over again. This time, with colder, less responsive fingers, he gathers dry grass in a hurry, not as dry as it should be. He's in a hurry. He's not quite taking care and grabbing perfectly dry grasses. He's accepting now that he will probably lose some toes.
Just now, buddy, huh?
Yeah, so he's starting to get he's starting
to feel a little worried. Okay.
Yeah. Quote, he pulled on his mittens with his teeth and began swinging his arms. Then he beat his hands with all his strength against his sides. He did this while he was sitting down. Then he stood up to do it. So right now he's like just beating his hands against his thighs.
Trying to get blood flow to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quote, the feeling grew stronger until it became very painful, but the man welcomed the pain. He pulled the mitten from his right hand and grasped the tree bark from his pocket. The bare fingers were quickly numb again. Next, he brought out his pack of matches, but the awful cold had already driven the life out of his fingers. In his effort to separate one match from the others, the whole pack fell in the snow.
Oh, no.
So he's beating his hands on his sides, like trying to keep them alive, like keep them useful. He tries to strike a match, but as we said, drops them all in the snow. He tries to pick them up with his fingers, but they won't grip.
Oh no!
So he does manage to like take both of his dead ass hands and like force his arms together and like take his dead palms and hold a match. And manages to get a match into his mouth so he can strike it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, how he would be able to get one if he could maybe get it in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. So he's striking this match with his mouth, and after 20 attempts, finally manages to light it. But before he can light his fire, the smoke in his nose causes him to cough and blow out his fire.
Oh, God! This is a Bugs Bunny routine. Oh, my God.
But it's got all this emotional weight to
yes,
it, though.
It's like...
It's like a... what is it? It's like a carnival of failures or something. There's a term for it, and I can't remember.
Pathos. There is pathos
There be pathos here, for sure.
I think you're thinking a comedy of errors.
That's it. It's a comedy of errors, but dramatic.
Yes. It has pathos. Oh, this poor man.
Yeah.
So we laugh and we cry with him.
He manages to grab the entire pack of matches with his dead grip and lights all 70 matches at once.
Oh.
And for this brief moment, feeling returns to his hands to tell him that the flesh of his fingers is searing.
Oh.
But again, this fails as well.
No. He doesn't get the grass on fire?
No, he doesn't get his fire lit.
And he's used all of his matches.
He's used all of his matches.
And he's burnt himself now.
Mm-hmm. So then the man looks at the dog who has been following along the whole time.
What are you going to do, buddy?
What do you think he's going to do? Not the dog, the man.
I'm trying to... honestly, I don't know if they had really, like, survival guides. Like, I read the Boy Scouts handbook when I was 8 or whatever, because my dad had been in Boy Scouts at some point and thrown it with his junk, and I read every book the man owned. Mm-hmm. So, therefore, I read the Boy Scouts handbook, and I learned all about, like, you can make yourself a snow house kind of thing where you, like, make under it, you go into a little tunnel, and you can roll up inside of it and get enough warmth that you won't die.
What do you think he's going to do with the dog? Because right now he's looking at the dog.
He's looking at the dog.
The story is making us focus on him looking at the dog.
Right. Potentially curling up around the dog and getting a little bit of warmth, but I don't see how the dog would help you.
Think Star Wars.
I was trying not to, because that's what I thought of immediately. He's going to cut open the dog and stick his hands in its guts?
Quote, as he looked at him...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As he looked at him, his eyes noticed the dog sitting across the ruins of the fire from him. It was making uneasy movements, slightly lifting one foot and then the other. The sight of the dog put a wild idea into his head. He remembered the story of the man caught in a storm who killed an animal and sheltered himself inside the dead body and thus was saved. He would kill the dog and bury his hands in the warm body until feeling returned.
But the minute you take your hands out, they're going to be wet.
Yeah. It's not a foolproof plan. It kind of just restarts the timer, like, at best. And then he can potentially try to build another fire.
Does he have, like, a flint?
I don't know.
Because, like,
he hasn't
presumably you would have a flint because matches are finite.
Yeah.
So, assuming he has a flint to start a fire with.
Potentially.
Does he have gear? Does he have, like, a big backpack or a sled he's pulling?
Doesn't say.
Because that's what I've been wondering.
Yeah.
He's traveling, presumably, in a day to this other camp. But surely he would have, like, other stuff with him.
It seems like he's kind of traveling light. Like, maybe, like, a small bag or something like that.
Okay.
He's only had one meal on him, which he kept in his shirt.
Right.
So, presumably he's just planning on, like, a 10-hour hike where he's just going to this other camp.
Okay.
So that's probably all he's planned for, is enough food and drink to get him through a day.
Like, how much realistically do you take with you to work? You know, your lunch, yourself, your clothing you're wearing,
right,
the things you need for the day. Because I wasn't sure if this was... Because sometimes the lumber camps, you would actually live on the camp for 6 months. You would do the kind of lumber season.
Yeah.
In which case, you would have all the clothing you needed, your money, your gear, you know, all of the stuff that would keep you comfortable enough in the lumber camp for that period of time.
I'm assuming he's coming back into the working season, and he just has, like, a supply of stuff cached in...
Already
the
at
lumber camp.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm assuming.
That
because it doesn't say anything about any extra items he has, no
Right.
extra clothes or anything. So.
Okay, so maybe his stuff is already there, and he was just coming back to it.
Yeah, I assume that the story doesn't say that.
Right.
So,
because we're This man. This man.
Yep.
This dog.
Poorly prepared.
Oh, no.
Was told by at least one person that not to do this, and did it anyway because he figured he knew better.
Yeah. He is a man.
So he's looking at the dog. He's going to tauntaun the dog.
He's going to tauntaun the dog.
But the dog sees the crazy in his eyes and hears the fear in his voice as he's calling the dog.
If you're calling a dog and you're murdering the dog in your head, the dog's gonna know.
Mm-hmm. And it scares the dog, so it won't let the man near him.
Yeah.
But once the man calms himself down, he gets a hold of himself.
Okay.
And actually does get a hold of the dog.
But he's able to hold a knife with his numb hands?
Nope.
Oh.
He's so weak at this point that he can't hold the dog and break its neck or grab his knife and kill it.
Yeah.
So
that fails.
It fails.
We failed to tauntaun the dog.
We failed to tauntaun.
That's
we were so
worse.
willing to tauntaun the dog, but simply were not capable.
Wow. Because, I mean, at some point, my life is more valuable than my dog's life.
Right.
I want to live. I can get another dog. Fine. This is where we're at in the story. But then to fail to even be able to warm up your hands so that you could build a fire to survive.
Yep.
And he's wet.
Yep.
And numb. Wow.
And after this, the panic starts getting really deep.
Yeah.
And he just starts running in a direction. I think he's running toward the camp. Hoping to be able to make it there
to get there before he dies.
Freezing to death.
Yeah.
So, fear of death has now entered his mind.
Right.
Frantically running. He gets the idea in his head that if he can just keep running, it would stop his feet from freezing. But as he runs, he falls. And he gets up and runs again. And he falls again. And he falls again.
Because he's losing control and function of some of these pieces of his body.
Until he fails to rise again.
Oh,
and at this point, shivering stopped a while ago.
Oh, no. That's a bad sign.
And now he's feeling warm and comfortable.
Oh, no. Jesus, no.
Fear surges through him again, and he manages to run one more time, but barely manages any distance at all before his body falls again. Quote, "It was his last moment of fear when he had recovered his breath and his control. He sat and thought about meeting death with dignity. However, the idea did not come to him in exactly this manner. His idea was that he had been acting like a fool. He had been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He was certain to freeze in his present circumstances, and he should accept it calmly. With this newfound peace of mind came the first sleepiness. A good idea, he thought, to sleep his way to death." It's really affecting, isn't it?
Yeah, as much as this guy is a stupid idiot, I feel bad.
Yeah,
for
he's
him.
an ignorant idiot, but he didn't deserve to freeze to death.
He didn't deserve to freeze to death.
Yeah. As he passes into sleep, he has a kind of out-of-body experience, as if he were present with when his friends find him. He imagines making it back to the States and telling people what real cold was. And he imagines going back and telling the old-timer back in Sulphur Creek that he was right.
Just stab me in the chest, why don't you?
And then he drops off into, quote, "the most comfortable and satisfying sleep he had ever known." And that's the end of the story. It's fucking tragic, isn't it?
This guy
it's
was
so good, though. It's really good.
It's good.
I promise it's good. But yeah, no bad guys, no good guys. Just a mistake made in overconfident ignorance. and an apathetic and lethal environment.
Yeah. Because we talked about that in White Fang, how he uses nature as another character.
Right.
Nature is a living, breathing character right here, changing the story and impacting everything around it.
Yeah. And in this one, it's less malignant feeling. Like, it's no less dangerous feeling. But it doesn't feel like it's doing this to him. It just feels like this is simply as dangerous as it is.
Yeah.
And he didn't respect it, and he died of it.
Yeah. Do we find out if the dog survives?
Oh, yeah, dog lives. Yeah.
Is it able to go find people?
Yeah, dog hangs out with him long enough to... the guy freezes to death and is sitting there for like a while, and the dog is like, we've been here for a long time, and he, walks up and smells the man, and he can smell that he's dead. So he just trots along and trots on to the camp, because the dog's been there before. He knows where it is from here.
Right.
And apparently he's near enough that the dog recognizes the rest of the way there. So
Dang.
yeah.
Wow. And isn't that how White Fang started? There was a dead body and they were dragging it and having to do fires and stuff?
Yeah, kind of.
So he plays with all of these themes so much and is so good at it. Wow. Yeah, so really good, really intense. I'm just a lonely loner on a lonely road.
Just a lonely bastard. And I just like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, I mean, it is really good. It's sad. Now I'm sad. Why did you do this to me?
Yeah, I think of the story like every winter. Like, in the field I work in, the winter is the busy season, and I'm outside for most of it. And ironically, it warms me to think about this story, because it's never as cold here as it is in the story.
Right.
So I don't know, it keeps me humble. I don't know.
Well, part of the value of a story like this is pointing out to humans, hey, you humans can die in this shit. Like, nature is dangerous. There's a reason we build fires.
Yeah.
Like, I had family who had a nervous breakdown and a mental break. But then we're trying to come back and saying, I'm going to get an island and I'm going to move all of us there and we're going to live on this island and be away from society and we're going to become a colony and do blah, 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 blah and live off the land. And I'm just like, dude, do you know how hard...
There's a reason we did our best and spent all of our time and technology to get away from that.
Yes. Moving back to nature is hard and stupid. We have done everything we can to have communities and to not be out in the elements.
I feel like there's
camping is fun for a little while, and then you go home and have a hot shower.
Yeah, camping is fun as long as it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a similar impulse to like the zombie apocalypse fanboys or fascists. They're just wanting to shake up the system so that hopefully they'll end up on top this time.
Yep, just like the preppers. And it's like, there was one prepper I actually really, really liked. His name was Jack Spirko, I think. I listened to his podcast and watched his YouTube some. But he said one of his favorite sayings was, your best protection after the zombie apocalypse or the government collapses or whatever, your best protection is to feed your neighbor.
Community.
You don't need guns to shoot at your neighbors. You need enough food to feed your neighbors. Because if you feed your neighbors, they're not going to be your enemy. They're going to help you and take care of you, and you take care of them. Yeah. He always emphasized finding your people, feeding your people, and building a community, because he was big into doing like fish farming and gardening and horses, and he would shoot groundhogs and eat them up and call them tiny cows and like all of that stuff. But he really emphasized, you can survive the zombie apocalypse, but you need friends and each of you needs skills. So if my skill is hunting, your skills needs to be canning.
Right.
If your skill is fishing, their skill needs to be, preserving.
Right.
Or digging holes or whatever you have to do to make a community.
Yeah.
Because you have to rebuild society somehow.
Right.
And you don't need to be on top. You need to be together.
Right.
I just loved that. I loved his attitude.
I feel like that's a much better attitude.
Oh, it was so much better than the Alex Jones shit. I'm gonna eat your ass.
Yeah. I didn't mean to lump in like preppers and zombie apocalypse fans as all fascist Nazis or whatever.
Oh,
but
no, I'm sure that there's people who... There is a valid reason to prepare for emergencies.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have any political ideas at all for it to be reasonable and useful to have water, have canned food,
Right.
have flashlights, and a generator.
But there is a Venn diagram, and there is a circle within those circles, and a lot of them are kind of, fasci adjacent.
Yeah, the Alex Jones fanboys.
Yeah.
Which is how I grew up, which is why finding someone like Jack Spirko, who could have been toxic, but he was so much less of that, I am a lone man with a long gun who's going to shoot off everyone who touches my land, because I knew other people who were really into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a long-distance shooter.
That's the only version I know of, is we're going to have, 4 4-wheelers, and we're going to be on constant militaristic patrol in our fucking homestead in the middle of the woods where we're trying to grow corn.
Yeah.
For whatever, in the wood, whatever.
Because, Ladies' Homestead Gathering is a nationwide group of people, and you would have these little chapters. And it was very much where women who do gardening and we build community so that we get together and we can, and we get together and make cheese, and we go to each other's farms and we do farm chores together.
Yeah. And
that thing is really great.
Besides being useful skills, it can be fun if you're into that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
This is the story of a man not listening to his community, not using the resources of his community, who went out and struck on his own and faced the consequences.
And died of his own hubris. Yep.
Yep.
And it's a poignant 16-page story, and I think it's the most proven mark of an author to be able to tell a really affecting story like this in such a short space.
Oh yeah.
And not a word wasted. The writer has to be efficient and know the few and most correct words to elicit a certain effect on the reader. And I think Jack London was really good at this.
He was.
I like that for this story. And that's all I have to say about that.
It's just funny. Our idea of good books and bad books, and it's just really fun that those things change, but also, yeah, it's what has meaning to us that makes it good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of like we were talking about books or movies. You and I were talking about movies that upset us as kids, and I would be easily upset or anxious around movies because I was imagining myself in those situations, and you didn't put yourself in the story the same way, so you didn't feel anxious about them or whatever.
Right.
And I said the movie that really upset me when I was a kid was Chicken Run. And that was because I had to help butcher chickens on the farm.
Yeah.
And that made me feel like I was a chicken murderer. Because as a child, I had to butcher these animals I cared for. And that was emotionally upsetting for me because I was a small child. And so it's completely perspective. It's completely uniquely yourself what makes something good.
Well, it's also what you're willing to empathize with at whatever age you are when you're coming across.
And that's
a piece
where
of
you're
media.
feeling empathy in these stories. Rather horror movies and some of these other things, you're not putting yourself in that story. That's what you've told me.
Yeah.
But in these ones, you're there, and that's what just makes them really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird how horror movies, I can't put myself in the horror movie. It just comes off silly most of the time. A good jump scare, Hereditary is a really good horror movie. But video games, horror video games, I am physically incapable of playing them.
Oh.
You know that feeling of falling off a cliff? in a dream or something like that, and like your entire body is like curling, like your toes are trying to curl into themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I get when I play horror games.
Oh.
For some reason, my brain just empathizes with that situation so much harder than an actual movie.
Interesting. I think you're also more into it when you're reading.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much with audiobooks. I do feel like you are more into it when you're reading book pages sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just from my experience of you talking about the books. Is what it seems.
Yeah. But I think that's
so you give it an AAA plus.
Yeah, I get triple S.
Satisfactory.
Yeah.
Super.
Spirit.
I actually never knew what S was, because you would say that sometimes, because I know A, B, C.
It's just the ranks that people would do for what tier lists. People were doing tier lists.
But see, I don't know what a tier list is.
Yeah, it's just a S, A through F.
For what context?
It's like a grading system, but
in movies, in TV, in cartoons, in books. Social media?
Yeah, it was really popular on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff.
Where
people would just be
judging
ranking
people?
anything. People were tier listing everything about the time that we started our podcast.
Oh.
And that's why I had the tier list system in my head.
Apparently I was not in that side of social media. I had no idea where this came from. I thought it came from, I've watched One Punch Man, and they had like S superheroes.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
And then level A's, or 1 and 2, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I thought it was coming from, was like the superhero rankings in One Punch Man.
Basically the same thing, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I had no idea. Because where I'm a mom with an elementary age child,
you're thinking a grade
of S
grading
is
system.
Satisfactory, which means you kind of suck, kid, but you're not bad. It goes E is excellent, S is satisfactory, and then I think P means progressing, which is like you are moving forward, and then there's another one that like means you're doing really badly.
It's P again for participating. Yeah, that's all you did.
But then, some of his grades are A through D or F, and then some of his stuff is S through, I think it's N. I think N is like needs support, and that's their way for saying you're failing.
Yeah.
If you don't get a tutor, you're failing this class. You are having a bad time. So, like, my son got an S, and I was like, how do you get an S in music? What are you doing, kid? You're satisfactory? And he said, oh, no one gets an excellent in music. I was like, okay, fine. Like, because in my mind, I'm like, are you not singing loud enough? What are you doing? All of his other grades were A's and E's. So I was just like, what's going on in music that it's satisfactory?
Well, I'm giving myself an N for this episode for needs help, because I keep idolizing stories where everyone's suffering and feels bad.
Men will do anything except go to therapy.
That's true.
Men will even read these stories, write these stories.
Yeah. I've reviewed this book instead of going to therapy.
There you go.
Just like every other book we've
Men
done.
will listen to this podcast instead of going to therapy. Well, that was good. Let us know what you thought, and if you also like Jack London, and send us your good books at it's bibliorex@gmail.com, bibliowrecks@gmail. I am being more active on Reddit. I will get back to Blue Sky once busy season is completely over. This is probably coming out after my busy season, but we are recording at the tail end of my busy season. And I am so excited about the stuff we're doing this summer. I have several books lined up that I am reading and thinking about, and I even have some good ones I'm thinking about, so I am really appreciating this break, and I think it'll be really good.
Yeah. I'm going to try to do some of the harder books I've had on the back burner for a while. I'm gonna try to get a couple